If that's okay, Olivia?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, let me take this opportunity to welcome everybody. I am going to be your host, your presenter. Hopefully I'm loud enough to where you don't fall asleep. But welcome to the kickoff meeting for ECC OneWorld. And some of us have been working on this for a few months now, led by our fearless leader, Olivia. And with that, I am going to pause and ask that we hear a short message from her. Thank you.
Sorry, give me 1 second to reset this here. Apologies.
No worries.
Okay. Thank you.
ECC friends and colleagues, welcome to our ECC OneWorld group. And first off, let me thank you on behalf of our steering committee for spending this time to get to know about our vision and mission. I'm going to take a few minutes to tell you about who we are, why we started this group, and where we're going. I am Olivia Sue. If you can't tell by my name or my look, I'm Chinese. I grew up in mainland China, where there are a whopping 1.4 billion of us. I thought I had nothing to do with minority. And Gurmeet, who you will see next, is from India, with another 1.38 billion of people from his place of birth. Wow. Two of our country alone are a third of this world's population. And here we are in this melting pot. Jokes aside, about 10 years ago, I came to US to pursue my advanced degree in economics. Okay, I lied. I came here to pursue the American dream. I came here to see if I can have a fair chance to succeed in life. I have enjoyed exploring this beautiful country and got the opportunity to meet a lot of awesome people from different cultures and backgrounds. However, the last couple of years have been extremely difficult for everyone due to the global pandemic. And the divisiveness that's felt for many is real. We were also inspired by multiple social justice movements in the last couple of years. Gandhi says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." I saw the opportunity to create a platform to speak more inclusively and bring together the diverse culture here in ECC. I want all of us, minority or otherwise, be seen and heard for who we are, the vibrant, inquisitive, silly, peculiar, annoying, but at the end of the day, real people trying to survive and hopefully thrive in this company of ours. We pulled together a committee with Natalie, David Granada, Marquez, Marianne, Jamak, and Gurmeet, who each in their own right are great representative of the different cultures and ethnic groups within our organization. Without them, we wouldn't have this group today. We've come up with quite a few brilliant, we think, ideas and initiatives to help promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. In the near future, our group will be focused on connecting people, providing opportunities for training, and a safe place for guided conversation regarding diversity and inclusion. However, I want to preface, this is not our show. You all, as the fellow employee owners of ECC, all are representatives of your community. It is up to you to get involved and define the culture of this company. Our vision for ECC OneWorld is to advance, cultivate, and preserve a culture of diversity, inclusion, and belonging, which makes us an innovative, stronger, more successful company. It also directly aligns with our vision of being a trusted partner, create a great place to work, and build a better world. ECC OneWorld's mission is to create a workplace that reflects the community we serve, where everyone feels empowered to bring their full, authentic selves to work. With the help of our entire ECC family, we can attract and onboard a diverse workforce to broadly reflect the larger community in which we work, engage and develop employees in building the skills and capacity to work in an inclusive manner with one another within the communities we serve. Build an inclusive culture through welcoming a workplace where employees recognize their unique characteristics, skills, and experiences are respected, promoted, valued, and celebrated. Champion fairness and equity, making intentional efforts and advocates for equal opportunity to succeed. Our host will walk you through our website where you can see how to get involved, see upcoming events, and seek additional training material or resources. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you get involved for our future initiatives. Together, we can make the change we want to see in the world. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Olivia, for that message. Permit me to be your culture and diversity guide for the next few minutes as we show all of you, our friends and colleagues here at ECC, what we've been up to. So by the end, or actually during our session here this afternoon, you will each have a link to ECC OneWorld. This is the website for our steering committee at this point, and also a website for our resources that you can go to 24/7. So with that, Natalie, if you could kindly just take us to the homepage. That's what's on everybody's screen right now. And let's go ahead and quickly touch on who we are as the steering committee. I know that Olivia just addressed how this merry group of diverse folks from different backgrounds came together.
Device 2 disconnected.
And we have some people disconnecting, which is fine. And so moving right along, let's get on to statistics. And I just want to pause here for a second and thank you, each of you who took the time. This survey was not a check the box, and it's a 2-second survey. This is the nuts and guts of us, not just as the committee, but people that live, breathe ECC projects, offices, the ECC lifestyle, as many of you have seen me address it. It's just a part of what we do. This is the DNA of the information that we collected through this very important survey that 143 of you took. And what that did was empower the steering committee with the data, set the baseline as to who are we. So sample size of 143 for round numbers, 380 to 400 people at that time is statistically significant, being that it's over 33%. So once you all have this link, please feel free to go and check out the results and the statistics that Olivia has posted up here. And if you have any specific questions, this was an anonymous survey. It's going to stay anonymous. But if you want to see the data dissected a certain way, we can do all of that. All I ask is that you reach out to one of us offline at the end of this presentation or whenever you desire, and we'll get the information for you. Some of the cross sections that are available to us, obviously, is gender, location. What kind of experience are we having in our journey here with ECC? Is it largely good, very good? Are there concerns? If there are concerns, that's of keen interest to us as the committee, and hopefully to all of us as we embrace all of you into the fold of helping us with initiatives, activities, additional training, breakout sessions for each office, each project, as the things may be. So with that, again, this is available to you. It's as an ECC employee, feel free to check out the data at any time. Next, Natalie, could you please take us to training? And before I give you my 2 cents on some of the excellent videos that Natalie has already posted, Natalie, may I impose on you, please, to touch on some of the training initiatives that we have been discussing that you will be rolling out here in the next couple of quarters?
Sure, Gurmeet. So currently what we have in the system, as it's shown here, is that I have created a diversity and inclusion track within Talent LMS. So you can self-assign this track to you. There are also diversity and inclusion courses within the leadership development track and also the management 101 track. So in order to do this, go to Talent LMS, click on the course catalog, and you will see these categories here, and you can access them by clicking on Level 3 Diversity and Inclusion, Level 3 Leadership Development, and Level 3 Management 101 to access those courses. Upcoming, what we have in the next few months in the pipeline is we will be providing an unconscious bias training to anyone who would be interested in taking that. So please be on the lookout for details to come on that.
Thank you so much, Natalie, for that. And I will share with the group that I took the second training that's showing up on that website because I was most curious because the gentleman at the end of the table looked like was wearing a orange-colored turban. Well, to my dismay, it was not a turban, but kind of hat day at the workplace. And it's a really cool, I think it was 20 minutes, a lot of fun, actually, some comedy built into it, but about a very serious topic about stereotyping. I'm sure, having been at ECC a little while, I have met most of you, and I'll be the first one to say, before meeting me, when I was a voice on the other end of a phone call, what were some of those preconceived notions, thoughts, what came to mind? Hey, that's for you to know and me not to find out. I don't care. I work in this great, awesome company called ECC, where I'm very, very comfortable. And the idea is, and the goal of this committee is that each one of us feels in the same manner as we go on through the journey of life, being an infinite player in ECC's game, which is ever changing and keeps us on our toes. So with that, I'm actually going to transition into the fun part of this hour that we've scheduled today. We had a photo contest that we solicited pictures to be submitted by all our ECC employees. And the cool thing was, earlier on, we asked everyone, hey, look, if you're not in the mood to submit something for yourself, submit a family member, a friend, somebody you know. It doesn't matter. The idea here is to learn a little bit about each other's culture and to see ourselves, kind of get a little world tour while we're sitting here comfortably in the US at a project site, at home, at the office, as the case may be. So the way this is going to work is I am going to go through the pictures that were submitted, and there are captions that go along with each of these. I'll do my best to summarize those captions if they are fairly lengthy, very informative, or just give a little snippet. The idea being, at the end of these pictures that we are going to have up on a screen, we're going to need a vote. So everyone gets 3 votes, and they will cast their vote, and around the end of our 1 hour or however long we go today, we are going to vote, tally it up, and then I will present some the top 3 prizes, if you will, as to who has the popular vote on the pictures that we present. So right now I'm seeing the voting already on my screen. Could we X on that for now while we go through the pictures presentation? And if that's not possible, that's perfectly fine. All right, so no, that's okay.
You want me to?
Sorry, you can exit out, and I will post 3 votes so everybody can vote during this time. Apologize for the technology difficulties.
Oh, no worries. No worries at all. Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, first up, we got Anfal. And Anfal is in her Arabic old style outfit. And this is, I have seen this in my travels in the Middle East. So thank you, Anfal, for your entry. And thank you, everyone that took the time to go ahead and make a submission so we get to talk about it in a safe forum like this. So with that, could we move on to the next picture, please? All right, so here we have Candace, and Candace has a picture of a turban, hijab style. So being one who wears a turban when I step out of the house, this is very, very cool for me. But what's even cooler is this awareness that no, it's not certain people from Africa or certain people from Middle East or just folks such as myself, Gurmeet and Manjeev, that wear a turban. Turbans have been around for the longest time. I would like to think I wear a turban because it signifies royalty. But in my case, I happen to be born in a Sikh family, and I decided when I moved to the US that I will keep my faith intact out of respect for my elders and those before them. And so we all have our reasons as to why we choose to look and feel a certain way. And my son, when he turned 18, I was very candid with him. Dude, you could go have a purple mohawk, or you could keep the turban, which you were born into. It's totally up to you. You can change your mind tomorrow. No harm, no foul. It's your personal journey. So here we are, different parts of the world, having a different application, culture, religious, non-religious, of the turban. So thank you, Candace, for your submission. Next picture, please. All right, here we have our very own Shovik that has a lovely picture of his family. And this signifies Durga Puja. Durga Puja precedes the festival of Diwali in India. And he has a very nice narrative. And by the way, it is not my intention to read every word. The idea here being we will post these pictures to our OneWorld website, and we will, please feel free to go look at it and read up and see all your cool friends and colleagues here at ECC. But here's something interesting. I'm a foodie, and looks like Shovik is too. In fact, I know he is. I've traveled with him all over the place, ECC projects and otherwise. And he is wearing a Punjabi kurta, much like what I am wearing right now. And his wife is wearing a sari. And of course, his son is in a kurta pajama as well. So decking out in fineries to step out for a festival in India, the best time of the season really to go. It's not too hot, and everybody's in a festive mood, exchanging gifts. And you all know how particular we are coming from the subcontinent about money. Well, catch us in the festive season. You may get a couple extra bucks from us. All right, moving on to the next picture. Thank you, Shovik. And here we have Carol. And Carol was born and raised in a farming community in Middle Tennessee. Woo! Thank you. The basket of America. feeding us all to be big and large and strong. So her family has been here for generations, raising tobacco and livestock. So from there, she's learned the value of hard work. And this is what's cool about the few months that this band, the steering committee, has been together. One of the common threads that brings us all here and keeps us all here at ECC is I have yet to come across somebody that's happy, engaged, and is thriving at ECC, whose goal is, hey, man, I just want to chill out. I don't believe in hard work. I just believe in a paycheck. Not going to happen. If that's the case, I would predict they wouldn't last too long. Here we have it. The common value that any culture inculcates into their kids, their future generation, is we've seen all our generations work hard to get us here. To a certain degree, I'm here in America speaking to you all today because somebody in the past worked hard enough to get me an education, to speak the English, to whatever it took so I can be here representing this diverse workforce we have. So my outfit in the photo is inspired by my uncle. The only thing missing is a baseball cap. So no worries, we got it. Thank you, Carol, for your submission. Much appreciated. Moving on to the next picture, please. This is our very own Juan Valdez from Colombia. So David Granada, who most of you know, have seen, have worked with, and you've certainly heard him. David can light up be it a structured conference call or a conversation, and he is the traveling Juan Valdez of the coffee industry. I'm going to have to check his bank accounts to see if there's no cash coming in from the coffee mafia here, but knowing David, he's a straight up honest guy that speaks his mind. So yeah, that would be kind of tough for David to pull off. So there we go. Colombia represented by our very own David in his traditional dress. Thank you, David, for your submission. So moving on to the next picture, please. Oh, here's Esmeralda. And yes, when I read her caption here, I totally get it. The Dia los Muertos, I had no idea, or actually I had seen some mafia movies where these tough guys crawl and go to some place that looks super scary, but that movie really brought home not just this festival of a culture, but why? You know, what's the background? The primary colors here being red, white, and black symbolizes love, you know, loved one, the love for the departed ones. We all have been through people who are not here anymore, and folks that have passed. And so here's a festival from the South that we can all relate to. So thank you, Esme. Appreciate it. Next picture, please. All right, Catherine Guido's sister was kind enough to submit this picture, Oktoberfest, in a very traditional Diedril. I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation, but here's the cool thing. This dress is over 50 years old. And when I see Catherine's sister adorning our screen with this dress, it looks like, I couldn't tell if it's 50 years old, 5 years old, or 5 months old. So that speaks to the quality of craftsmanship material that probably went into this dress 5 decades ago. And here we have it, a traditional picture from Catherine representing her family's heritage. Thank you, Catherine, and thank you to her sister. Next picture, please. Glenn, are you cheating? Throwing some cute kids at us? How can we not fall in love with this picture? So that's Kenya and Hannah. I had to think about all the times I've talked to Glenn when he's running around to piano classes, music lessons. My kids were a little older than his. And when I look at these two and some recent pictures on Facebook, Boy, we've been here a while. Glenn and I count our time here in ECC in decades, right? So I like to call myself an ECC dinosaur. I know that's not very complimentary to myself, but hey, that's just the way things are. But yet, we change, we thrive, we learn new things, and here we are. Thank you, Glenn, for this submission. What a cute picture. Next up, please. Ah, Diego. So we sort of seem to be cornered by the Colombians here, pardon my frankness. But Diego, thank you so much. And I am going to read this because this is so very cool because it's all about fun. So different regions in Colombia celebrate loud music and happiness. So the Caribbean coastal region, there's a special hat for hot weather, the sombrero volitayo. And it's made by hand, and a special slim sleeveless jacket called a poncho. I hate to admit it, but I have worn a poncho, but it was probably made of plastic, and it was Disneyland, and I bought it for $1 because it was raining. Now I know what a real poncho looks like, and it's from Colombia. So going to the soccer field, wearing this attire, sounds like a lot of fun to me. Thank you. Thank you, Diego. Moving on to the next picture, please. Ah, we have Guillaume Desta's sister here wearing a traditional Ethiopian homemade dress. Look at all those colors. Thank you, Guillaume. Much, much appreciated. Next picture, please. Here we have Joe. Hello, Joe. Haven't seen you since the Afghanistan days. I probably saw you more than I have seen you in North Carolina, but one of these days I'll come by, say hello. And here we have a very nice Jewish tradition, and I'm going to summarize it here. It's the breaking of the glass over a napkin, symbolizing either the suffering of the Jewish people that we are all keenly aware of, or the fragility of life. You know, things change. Every day here at ECC, we deal with challenges and changes, and we somehow adapt and survive. I don't know about you folks. I do that by being close to my friends and colleagues here. Some of them on this call, some of them out there thinking about when I may need help, and they're there to help me out with it. So thank you, Joe, for your submission. Next, please. Rob Tess, and this is a traditional picture in Japanese cultural clothing, and it's maki, and a concerted effort of them raising their daughter Mia into the Japanese culture. This is so, so very cool. And Rob, I have to admit, I have never seen you in a kimono, if that's what the male version is called as well. If not, my apologies. And that this is so, so very cool. Looks like a fair in parts out in the East, you know, people hanging out, you folks having fun. Thank you so much for your submission. Next picture, please. All right. Here we have Marcel, and she is the pharaoh, or the feminine of the pharaoh Hatshepsut, first female ruler of ancient Egypt, foremost of the noble women. And let me pause for a second here. As we as a committee have gone through, you know, what is it that we should represent, take on, look for ideas, there are so many things with Empower We that we are dealing with as well. So we are looking forward to the collaboration between this steering committee and some of the already cool stuff that Empower We is doing. So we have some synergies, so we don't duplicate, so we build off of each other. And here is a very powerful woman in the past, in a land of men that was successful, following Cleopatra's footsteps, Cleopatra the 8th. So thank you so much, Marcel, for your submission. Next picture, please. And not to be left far behind from Marcel's shadow, we have Marco. And Marco's Ramesses. I don't know how many of you saw Ben-Hur, but I did growing up. And maybe Ramesses wasn't even in Ben-Hur, and I'm stereotyping because it was a movie of the era. But here we have our own Marco dressed up to the hilt as Ramesses. I am sure when I need a big favor, Marco, my man, is gonna indulge because he certainly looks the part, and I can tell how much effort went into posing and making this picture. So thank you, Marco. And all this great text and history that everybody is seeing, it'll be available on our ECC OneWorld website for you all to look at your leisure, study up on what are some of these cultural significances of what our very own folks are sharing with us today. So thanks, Marco. Next picture, please. Here we have Olivia, the before and after. So on the left is what she looked like before she started dreaming of a bigger, brighter future, like some of us. The shores of America, the greatest country on earth, where you can come here with your two bare hands and hopefully an intact mind. Speaking of me, I don't know about that, but you can build your own destiny with what has been given to you by a creator. You don't need to be some royal family or somebody of wealth. You can be whatever you make yourself to be. And I pause on that because I remember, I'm just recalling the message that Olivia gave us as to her rationale for coming to the US, which honestly is no different than why I came here, for graduate studies. But hey, while I'm at it, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do ourselves versus resting on the family's laurels. So this is her traditional dress from China, a kupao. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. I'll get my hand slapped later. That'll be offline, hopefully. So in the 1920s, as women were allowed, just think about that. Women were allowed, permitted into the education system, becoming teachers and university students. They shed the ornate robes. But there's something to be said about remembering, your history, primarily for the history of your ancestors, not that things that were being done 80, 100 years ago were the right things. And that just becomes a part of the culture. You keep the good parts, hopefully, and move on from there and build your own for yourself and your family. So thank you so much, Olivia. Next picture, please. This is Syed at a wedding in Pakistan, his nephew's wedding. And look at those adorable granddaughters he has on the right, dressed up for their Eid festival. Thank you so much, Syed, for sharing this family moment with us. What a wonderful looking family. And look at those two dudes at the back. I'm not getting into a fist fight with them anytime soon. They're clearly a head taller than I am. But what a beautiful family picture, beautiful grandkids. Thank you, Syed, for sharing with all of us. All right, next up. And all the way from Canada, or actually from Kosovo originally, we have Nora. Nora, thank you for sharing this wedding picture with us. You look radiant, as a bride should be, and the traditional dress is awesome. Thank you. Next picture, please. Of course, I wasn't going to let you guys escape just the fact that you have to see myself and Manjeeb once in a while. I had to put this up here, speaking of traditions, and I just have a couple of points to make here. This is 1998 December, and Manjeeb and August and Steve Anderson left Paul at the helm here to fend for himself and joined me at our house in Delhi for my wedding. And that, if you're wondering who that dude is carrying the sword, on horseback, that is me. And I'm covering my face because that's tradition. And this was just a blast from the past that I could not pass up given what we're talking about today. Remembering our friends, our family, everybody smiling. I have a subdued smile on because the caption right there says it all. December 1998, this is the last day this man was free. This is a cultural thing with us Indians. We love our significant others, but we get to complain about it in the company of everybody because that's a cultural thing. We may get beaten up at the end of the evening for doing that, but it's welcome. It's lovely. It's what we do. The other cultural point about a big fat Sikh wedding in India is, and all weddings really in India, it's for the pleasure and enjoyment of the guests. The two people who are there for the ceremony and to behave themselves and smile for the pictures are the bride and the groom. But that's okay. That's karma. We get to attend plenty of weddings thereafter and be the guests. So it's a full circle. So thank you for indulging me with this little snippet of my past. I just had to, I don't know, for lack of a better word, throw some more color in there. And right in the top picture, you can see Manjeev and Pulvika and Reina. And the bottom picture, if you haven't caught on to it, the swashbuckling gentleman with no beard is our very own Mr. August Ackerbauer. So thank you. Next, please. So with that, I just want to take a moment and take us to the home page of ECC OneWorld. And for purposes of what the rest of this time that we have together looks like, we are going to then get into an open forum for discussion, questions. I'll do the best to answer them, or I'll do what I do best sometimes, which is punt the question over to one of my more than capable team members. So I have an ask from all of you. If you could please, at the end of this presentation, or whenever you have time, go to our homepage. And what we're doing here is the steering committee came up with some initiatives and activities as to what we think we should be embarking on to, as activities we can take by office, company-wide, such as this. We can do it virtually, but we would really appreciate your feedback because at the end of the day, this is not a steering committee thing, right? We are nothing unless we have the participation and the support of you all ECC owners, friends, and colleagues. So Natalie, if we just scroll down just a little bit, I just wanted to share that there is a other. So if the sections that we've gotten, actually you're fine. If you could just scroll back up a little, there is a other here, and the other is what we would be keenly interested in. And if one of the other things that we've already thought about tickles your fancy, sure, you can check that. Let us know that's what you're thinking. And then the other thing I would just like to point out is if you go down, Natalie, just scroll down a little bit more on our homepage. Here you will find our vision and our mission statement. And this is what Olivia walked us through kind of live just a few minutes back. So with that, I'm going to take a little pause and let others chime in. But before I do that, I just noticed that we have Paul and Manjeev with us. We would be delighted if you could share with us, the steering committee, or the participants. We are also recording this, the hope being if there are others that couldn't join due to time differences, they will get the opportunity to look at the recording and get something out of this. And an open offer to anybody and everybody, email us, Teams, text, call, reach out to us, let us know what we should be thinking about, not thinking about, any ideas that you may have. I don't care, spend 49 cents, write a letter, but please, we do want to hear from you. So with that, I'm going to shut up for a brief moment, minutes, hours, whatever it takes, and let I ask if there's any overarching themes, comments that Paul and Manjeev would have.
Gurmeet, sure. I'd be happy to chime in. Obviously, I'll probably speak for everybody on this call that, this is such a tremendous way to introduce OneWorld and the whole diversity and inclusion, which is, we talk about it so much, and we all think that we are probably doing it, but this is such a great way of internalizing it. And by just following your presentation, Olivia's beautiful words that she shared with us in the beginning, for me personally, this is just internalized the beauty and the passion and the commitment that that I have for this subject, because it's something that feels good, to connect with more people, more cultures, to have a deeper understanding of each person. Each of those photos was so enlightening that now when I see somebody on a video call or in person, now I'm registering a whole different side of them. And so for me, this is just we could call it ECC OneWorld, we could call it ECC Connect. This is just another way of connecting and communicating and having a fantastic experience in what is otherwise, a very difficult set of projects and assignments and responsibilities that we all have. This is just one way to make ECC a better place to work. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you, Paul, for those kind words. And having known Paul for a few decades, just those words alone and knowing my colleagues in the steering committee is going to fuel our passion for the next year to come. And hopefully we keep hearing snippets from all of you. And we're here because Paul and Manjeev, Glenn, allow us to be who we are and to spend ECC resources and to take an hour out of everybody's time. Most of you know me. I'm not a big marketing guy, or I'm not trying to kiss up to anybody. I'm just stating a fact. We as ECC allow each other to be in a safe space so we get the opportunity to talk about what we're talking about today. I can think of half a dozen competitors out there that would look at the agenda for this meeting and tell their people, waste of time, not billable, we don't know where you would charge your time, don't bother, get to work. Not here. And all the participants on this call, I count 78, living proof. 78 folks that have paused, will probably stay late to finish what this hour is taking up, but hopefully we'll take away something from this presentation. So thank you for each other's support. Thank you, Paul. And I'm not sure, Manjeev, if you're still on, but we would love to hear from you as well.
Yes, I am. It's hard to follow Paul or you. You guys have said it all.
There is no such thing with you, Manjeev, please. Here comes the best part.
Saw your email requesting pictures. I will find a picture and then I will post it that has Paul and me in big Turkish turbans.
Okay.
Fine. I found it the other day. I'm going to look for it again. This is a few years ago when we were both in Turkey and decided to go to one of those places that, you just dress up and do it. The work that you guys are doing here is really fun and really enjoyable. And I think that's the essence of it. If our approach to accepting each other becomes too serious, too process-oriented, that's not real anymore. Think of it the way we make friends. We make friends not by setting out a plan. Okay, I'm going to go make 3 friends in the next 4 weeks. We meet people we really like, we hit it off, we find more new depths and facets to their personalities, and our friendships deepen over time. It's the same way here. And like Paul said, you've done a great job in exposing a different facet of the few people that you highlighted here. Great job, team.
Thank you very much, Manjeev. Thank you. I see some questions coming through. So Natalie or Olivia, if you could help me out as to if there are questions or comments, if I need to address them, because now I'm getting excited about the next fun part as we wrap up, because we get to vote and we get to pick some winners. And I can promise you this, that the first, second, and third prize will be timely, as in it will certainly be in the winner's hand before the 2021 ESOP certificates next September, but hopefully, in the next few weeks. So that much I can promise you. And I can also promise you it'll be a little more substantial than a plaque or just a thank you email from me. So hopefully it's something you can have fun with at home or yourself. So yeah, can somebody help me out with the questions if we have any, please?
Sure. Hi, Gurmeet. I will facilitate this part. First, I want to explain the vote. My apologies. I have to break it into 3 parts, but you can pick your top 3 cultural outfit from either of the vote. And Natalie, can we show the summary page, please? There you go. So I'm sorry it looks a little bit clustered, but this is a great problem to have. We have so many submissions from different culture, and it just warms my heart to see that. And please go to our chat to cast your vote. At the meantime, I want to read some of the comments and questions. Paul says, Gurmeet wants to know what our inner voices are saying about him. Mine says, thoughtful, kind, smart, humble, loyal, helpful, friendly, dependable, and so many more. I couldn't agree more. Keith Anderson says, the Missouri Bar Association by rule of the MO Supreme Court now requires ethic credits of implicit bias that appears to be the same as unconscious bias. Awesome that ECC is embracing the same value as the Missouri Bar Association.
Well, thank you for that, Keith. I just want to make a comment. I did not study up, neither did Olivia, neither did David. This merry band of let's do something about what we're hearing and seeing just came together intuitively. We are happy that there are laws that are going behind what we should be doing, but I'm even happier that the flow of things and what you will see over the next few months to come is kind of naturally in-house, organic, all those words, all those, fancy words, because we haven't gone and, gotten any formal training. What you see is what you get. It's coming from the heart. And I'm delighted to know that, we're ahead of something we have to do because we're already doing it. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Also from our chairman, this is so much fun. Who knew that diversity awareness is so educational too? Oxytocin is flowing. Marcel rules Marco and probably all of us for sure. If you're seeing the chat, you can see Marco posted a few picture of Marcel and Marco together. Those are very lovely pictures.
What? Marco and Marcel are a couple? I didn't know that. Do they get to submit 2 separate entries?
They have double downed.
Olivia, let's spare Olivia from having to read all the comments. Because I think everybody can read them.
Oh, okay. Thank
All right.
you.
So Olivia, in wrapping up this comment section, is there any question that we should address? And if so, we'll do it. But otherwise, like Paul said, we can read the comments.
Besides Paul's question, where do I charge my time? We don't have a question.
We'll have to take that conversation offline. This much I have learned from all these video conferences that we've been doing. So,
Julieta's asked, how many votes do we pick? Top 3 votes, please.
okay. Are we live on the voting?
Yes.
All right.
Our highest vote of currently with 23 votes is Unfall.
Woo!
Whoa.
Good job, Anfal. Thank you.
Thank you.
And second place is Glenn Sweat.
All right.
We have a tie. We have a tie for second place. Marcel.
Awesome.
Great. The third place. Oh, the vote is changing.
How many total votes do we have? We have 73 people on the call.
If everybody casted 3 votes, we should have hundreds. Should we give people a little more time to vote?
You know,
Yeah,
the voting thing that popped up, but I had to close it to see the slides. How do we vote if you've closed them?
It's in the chat, Manjeev. If you go to the chat and scroll up, you'll be able to find the voting up there in the meeting chat.
And for facilitation purposes, we're just going to have a pause for 30 seconds to a minute until I hear that everybody's good. And then we'll do a final tally. And I promise I'll be ahead of time by at least a minute or 2. So yeah, we'll just wait just a tad. And I know it's not just 73 into 3. That would be 219 votes. It's some may cast less than 3 and things of that nature. So. And at this time, if you need more time, may I please request that you raise your hand via the Teams raise hand function. Otherwise, here in the next 10 seconds or so, I will move over to announcing the final winners and closing. Okay, very good. I think, Olivia, we should have the final tally, yeah? So tell us.
All right.
Who do we have?
Looks like our the ranking is pretty similar. Anfal Stowe is our #1 choice. Congratulations, Anfal.
Thank you.
And similarly, Glenn and Marcel are tied for our #2 place.
Excellent.
Awesome. And #3 is Nora.
All right. Nora, representing our northern friendly borders of Canada. Congratulations for bringing that home. So with that,
Thank you.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Thank you. And I just have to again, I have to thank all the participants who sent pictures. If we don't get Manjeev and Paul's pictures from Turkey, I'm sure I can find those from other people's iPhones, and we'll post them just because it'll be a fun picture with some beautiful scenery. So before we all take off to the tasks of the day. My one request from the steering committee remains, please engage with us. Even if it's a quick conversation with one of us, or you go to the homepage and add some ideas for us to consider. We want to be in a position to act and to have a meaningful dialogue backed up by action, and not this is a beginning, right? This is not, hey, we did our meeting for the quarter, whoop-de-doo. This is ECC. Unless it's actionable and we're seeing some results, doesn't work. So that's my one humble request to everybody. Other than that, a big thank you from the steering committee, from me personally, for taking this time out of the day to join us. And we'll continue this series with some frequency. We will come up with that based on your feedback. And for now, thank you. Enjoy your weekend, and much appreciated.